Hello, welcome to Radiant Resilience. I'm Tori, and today's video I will be taking you through a slow flow, all levels yoga class. When I mean all levels, I try to give you options so that you can choose what works best for you on any particular day. Of course, you are in charge, so feel free to skip or modify anything that doesn't feel right for you so that you're keeping yourself safe. And also, we're going to be having a slight emphasis on opening up the hips and the glutes a little bit in this class. As far as props go, you will for sure need a strap. If you don't have a strap, you could use a belt. That works just as well. If your knees are a little tender, we are going to be doing some things kneeling. So if you need to get something to pad your knees, have that handy. I like to use a gardening knee pad because it's easy to move when I need to. I'm not dealing with a blanket. And then also, if you like to use blocks for a little elevation when you're in a lunge, you might have those handy, but they won't be needed for everybody. Okay, so we are going to get started. I'm going to have you come down to start out in something called repose, or I like to refer to it as starfish. So you're going to have your legs long and your feet fairly wide, and then the arms are at a T position, palms up, back of the neck is long. Now, if this doesn't feel good for you, of course, make it so it does. But what we're doing here is when we open up that front of the body, we're helping counteract all of the different things that we do in our day where we're always reaching forward or rounding. So we're trying to reverse that rounding forward thing. The other thing that happens when we're stressed or things just aren't feeling safe, we tend to kind of round forward just as an automatic protection thing. All mammals pretty much do that. But then we can kind of get stuck in that place even when there isn't any need to be protecting ourselves. So we're just trying to coax the body to open up through the front, which then in turn sends signals to your nervous system and your brain that, hey, everything's okay, I can relax, and we can move into a deeper place. The other thing that happens when we are stressed is our psoas, which is one of those hip flexor muscles. It connects the spine directly to your legs. It's the only muscle that does that. It contracts to get you ready for fight, flight, or freeze. So if you're always going through your day and you're feeling stressed, chances are that muscle is in a constant state of contraction. And this is a position that helps open and lengthen it out. So a lot of explanation for this one pose, but we're just going to start to breathe into it. Just let your breath flow naturally and notice the spots that you're feeling movement when you're breathing. Just when you're not trying to control your breath. Do you feel movement in your rib cage? Do you feel movement in your belly? Or maybe a combination? And notice the direction in which your body moves. Is it only moving out front, or is it moving the sides of the body? Is it moving the back of your body? Just kind of notice that aspect of the breath. And now as we deepen the breath, try to expand in all directions. So you're going to inhale, expanding in every direction you can expand. Feel your belly moving, feel your rib cage moving, and then soft, easy, long exhales. You can keep your throat very open, or you might narrow it for an ujjayi breath. And then notice the pauses in between your inhales and exhales, those moments, those short, comfortable moments of stillness and silence. And when you finish your next exhale, give yourself 3 great big sighs. Inhale through your nose, relaxing it out through the mouth. 2 more of those. Breathe in. It's okay to vocalize if that feels right. When you vocalize, your vocal cords vibrate the vagus nerve, which also helps us come into a relaxed state. And then from there, slide your legs closer together. Now, if having your legs long is not feeling good, you can always bring feet to the floor to do this next part. But we're going to inhale and stretch out through your body. And as you exhale, bring one knee to the chest for a hug. And then we're going to switch. Inhale, stretch out. And exhale, other knee comes in. And again, stretch and hug. Stretch, hug. Now this next time you hug, we'll stay there a little longer. So you're going to hug that knee in and sigh here. And then stretch back out. Hug the other knee in and sigh again. And then bring both feet flat to the floor with your knees bent. Arms back out to your T position. Sorry, I keep hitting my strap. I'm going to move it out of the way. Back out to your T position. Breathe in. And as you exhale, we're going to rock the knees to one side as you look in the opposite direction. Inhale, center, and go to the other side. So keep going a few more times, taking it easy. So if this is your first movement of the day, start small and gradually go bigger as things start to ease and warm up. Now, the next time you go into your twist, stay there and sigh. And then flex your feet. And the reason I'm having you flex your feet is to keep your knees nice and stable. And then move your feet a little further apart from each other. Now, if this starts to feel like you're tugging or have any discomfort in the knees, back out and bring your feet closer together. But this just gets into that outer hip, outer thigh a little bit more of the one leg. But you don't want to feel like you're torquing or pulling in the knee. And then if you did bring your feet wider, bring them back to where they started. Go up through your center and twist to your other side. Sigh again. And then flex the feet, stabilizing the knees. Move your feet further apart and breathe deeply right here. Check in. Knees are happy. If not, make your feet closer together. And then bring your feet back to where they started and move through your windshield wiper twist just a few more times. As you bring everything back to center, breathe in. On the exhale, give your knees a hug, and we're just going to pause here, giving your hips, your low back a moment to get used to this stretch, this position. And then you decide whether you'd like to do a little side-to-side rocking motion, or you might guide the knees with your hands, making circles with the knees going in the same direction. So we're just massaging the low back, and this is one of those stretches or movements I do every day. Now reverse your circles if you're circling. And I start most classes this way as well. All right, and then as you bring yourself back to your center, open your knees apart, circle them around, and bring them back together. So now the knees are moving in circles going opposite each other, so your hip joints are moving. And then reverse those circles. And then as the knees come back into the middle, keep your feet together, but open your knees a little bit wider. Soles of the feet come together. Reach down to grab your feet. keeping them together. And then as you open the knees a little more, you can pull the heels either towards your hips more or towards the hips and your chest a little bit more, just finding the right stretch for you. And you can choose to stay right here, or from here you might guide your feet and stack them over your knees into more of a happy baby position. Lengthen out your tailbone, and if it feels good, you could do a little rocking right here. And then bring everything back to the middle so you can come back from rocking, take a breath in and out. And then as you release, give your knees, hold on to the backs of your thighs, flex your feet, inhale. As you exhale, lengthen up your legs, inhale, bend. So we're pumping the legs, getting the hamstrings stretched out a little bit. And then as the legs go along this next time, you can keep holding on to the backs of the legs, or you could reach the arms up. And then point and flex the feet. As you do that, if you're reaching arms up, move through your wrists so the palms go up and the palms go down. Fingers and toes are spreading out. And then rotate your ankles and your wrists. And rotate the other direction. Flexing your feet, spread your toes out, give the hands a little shake. And then give your knees another hug. Now, for this next part, you want to keep your low back pressing down into the floor. We're going to be working the core a little bit. Inhale. As you exhale, lengthen the arms out so the knees move away from your body. Inhale, bring your shins up to a tabletop, low back down, and then exhale, press your knees into your hands. Inhale, hug. Exhale, arms lengthen. Inhale, shins up. Exhale, knees press into hands. Inhale, hug. Exhale, knees move away. Inhale, shins up. Exhale, knees press into hands. One more time. Inhale, hug. Exhale, arms long. Inhale, shins to a table. Exhale, knees resist into your hands. And then release. Knees hug. Do a little rocking. As the legs come center, place the feet on the floor, about hip width apart, arms coming down by your sides, palms facing up, shoulders pressing down. Breathe in, and as you exhale, start to curl your tailbone and your hips up. Stop there. Breathe in. Exhale, come up a little higher. So now the waist lifts, and you're only going to go up to where you feel right. And then one more exhale, coming into your full bridge position. You might be able to walk your shoulder blades closer together. Choose the arm option that's feeling best to you today, with your tailbone lengthening out towards your knees. Navel is pulling in and up, and you're breathing deeply. Now, if you're feeling any sort of pinching or compression in the low back, you can lower the hips down so you don't go down up quite as far. You could more actively lengthen your tailbone towards your knees. The other thing you could do, this can help with your back, and if you're feeling any discomfort in your knees, is to walk your feet forward so they're not as close to your hips. That takes a little pressure out of the knees, and it gives you also a little space to lengthen out your low back. So find your best bridge. And when I mean best bridge, it doesn't always mean deepest, right? It's best for where you are in this moment. And then take a breath in, relax the arms, palms up, exhale. Rib cage comes down, breathe in, exhale, waist comes down. One more breath, and the hips come down. Take a side. And then we're going to work towards figure four pose, crossing your right ankle over your left thigh. Flex your right foot, and the ankle and the thigh are going to stay connected for this whole part. So the knee is just going to come across towards your left shoulder. And then hands push the right thigh open. So the hands are guiding the knee crossing, and then pressing the thigh open up by your hip crease instead of by the knee. And cross it over and press it open One more time, cross it over, pressing it open and pause there. Now release that press. Depending on your hips, your left foot might want to stay on the floor. You could also stack it up on top of a block or bring your left knee in towards your chest with your hands or a strap going around your left thigh. Your right arm goes through the window of your legs and then going into a rocking motion side to side. So even if you kept your foot down on the block or the floor, you can rock here and then find where you want to stop and breathe right there. So you're finding the right level of intensity for you to hold. Now, only if this is available to you, you can flex your left foot and lengthen the left leg up towards the ceiling. And then go ahead and bend the left knee, place it down, and we'll release. Getting ready for the other side. Left ankle crosses over your right thigh, flexing the foot for knee stability, and then with your hands, guide the left knee towards your right shoulder, and then press the thigh open by your hip crease. And go ahead and continue going back and forth with this, just warming the hips up in each direction. Okay, now the next time you press the leg open, pause there, breathe. Release that press, right foot down on the floor, up on a block, or right knee in with your hands or a strap around your thigh. And then go side to side. Finding the level of intensity for you, pause wherever that is and breathe. And then only if it feels right, flex your right foot and lengthen the leg up towards the sky. Bend the knee and release. Both knees to the chest, rock side to side. From there, roll to your side and bring yourself all the way up into a seated position. So we are going to be here for a little bit. If sitting on the floor feels uncomfortable, it can be helpful for you to elevate your hips with a cushion or a folded up towel or blanket. All right, from there, roll your shoulders up, back, and around. And then we're going to roll the shoulders separately like you're doing the backstroke. Let your rib cage move along with the shoulders. When the ribs get moving, that helps release tightness in your upper back. And then on your inhale, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. And exhale, press the palms down, shoulders drop. One more of those. Inhale, shrug. Exhale, press down, drop your chin down to your chest and side. Now, glide your chin along your chest over to your right collarbone. Now, you're going to keep your head over to this side like this. On your inhale, lift the chin up. At the same time, shrug your left shoulder, your left shoulder. So you're bringing the shoulder up towards the back of your head. And then as you exhale, drop the chin to your collarbone and drop that shoulder. Inhale, chin up, and the shoulder shrugs to the back of the head. Exhale, both come down. Two more of those. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, lower it down. One more time. Up and down. Good. And then slide your chin through the middle and over to your left collarbone. And we'll do the same thing. So you're going to inhale, lift the chin, shrug the right shoulder. Exhale, shoulder and chin come down. Inhale, lift, shrug to the back of the head. Exhale, lower down. Two more. Inhale, lift and shrug. Exhale, both go down. Last time. And down. Good. From there, glide the chin back to center and then roll your head ear to the shoulder, forward, other shoulder. Keep going. As your head goes over to your right shoulder, stop there, ear to the shoulder, faces mostly forward, little head nods. Stop and sigh. And then bring your head forward and over to your other shoulder. Head nods on this side. Stop and sigh. And then bring your head forward, chin to the chest. Breathe in. As you exhale, bring your head upright. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Interlace your fingers. Press your palms up. Drop your shoulders down. And then turn your palms to face your head. Do some circles over your head like you're drawing a halo over your head. And then circle the other direction. Good. And then keep the hands interlaced as you bring your hands down. Pull your hands apart. So I guess we're doing a lot on the shoulders and the neck too. So keep the shoulders down as one elbow lifts, the other goes down. And then switch, and we'll just do side to side a few times here. Good. And then come center. Now we're going to bring the palms and the forearms together. So you're trying to bring elbows together, shoulders drop down, elbows press forward. Lift and lower the elbows up and down. And then bring your elbows straight out from the shoulders, open all the way out. Open your chest. As you hug your body, bring your right arm on top, shoulders drop down. So your hands are on your shoulders, and then you're going to make some big circles with your elbows. And as you do this, you can also let the rib cage go. And as you circle 3 ways one direction, and then 3 times the other direction. And then we're going to do the same thing with the other arm on top. Arms open out. And then hug with the other arm on top. Drop your shoulders down. 3, one direction. 3, the other direction. Good. And then open out wide. Exhale, round over a big beach ball. Open wide again, and then bend your elbows like goalposts. Keep your elbows where they are, just pivot from your shoulder, down and up, down, up, down, and up. Arms open, bring your fingertips to the floor next to your hips or slightly behind. Shoulders roll up, back, and down. Squeeze the elbows together, lift your heart up, and then release. Lean onto your right hand. Now we're going to be circling the left arm. So if you have stuff going on with your shoulder, you might want to bring your hand to your shoulder and circle your elbow. That makes it a little lighter. Or you can keep your arm a little bit bent, or you can have the arm more straight. You're only going into the biggest range of motion you can do without coming into pain. And your chest and your shoulders can kind of move as you do that circle, and then pause and go the other direction. And you might notice one direction feels a little better or more coordinated than the other. And then as you bring the arm up by the side of your head, stop there, lean onto your right hand, and take a deep breath. And go ahead and come up, lean onto your other hand, and we'll do the same thing. So arm can be fairly straight. It can be as bent as you want it, or you can bring your hand to your shoulder and do elbow circles instead. All right, now pause and switch directions. All right, the next time you bring your arm up by the side of your head, lean and breathe deeply in and out. And come up. Now we're going to hinge forward. I want you to keep your spine really straight, at least initially. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see a little better. You want to keep the back of the neck long, chin a little bit tucked. Hands are supporting the weight of your torso as you lean forward. Now this keeps your spine pretty neutral and fairly safe. If you feel like you want to take this further, you can round forward as long as the emphasis is forward. What I often see is people want to go lower and they really don't have that range, and so they get to a certain point and then they do this to go down further. And as you notice, all of the action is pushing back, which is not super happy for your discs. So you want to hinge forward and stay straight, and then only if you can make that action more of a forward action do you round forward. Of course, if it doesn't feel good for you, you're not going to do that rounding. And then you might come into a little sidewalk towards the front toes, the direction your front toes are going. And then come center and back up. Switch the cross of your legs. Generally, the second side will feel a little tighter because we tend to habitually sit with the same leg in front all the time. So just notice that and adjust as needed. So we're going to hinge forward, and you're only going to round forward if that feels right to you. I'm going to stay straight, and then we're going to go over to the side towards the front toes. Good, and then come back center and up. From there, lengthen out your legs, and you want to scooch forward. So if you are on a mat, your feet are off the mat so they can slide a little easier. And then we're going to lean back so you don't feel like you're straining your low back at all. Turn your toes out and slide your feet wide. Turn the toes in, slide the feet together. So that's the action. And this is working internal and external rotation of your hips. You may notice that one leg does this a little bit more easily, or one direction feels easier. So not only is this a good way to assess what's going on with your hips and if there's any asymmetry, but it's also something that you can do to even anything that you notice back out. So we'll just go in and out a few more times. Okay, and then as you bring your legs in, give them a little shake, and then we're going to swing around and come up into table. So if you do like to pad knees, get that set up. And when we come into our half lunges, if you want, you can have a block on each side towards the front of your mat so that it's there and available to you if you decide you want to use it. Okay, so from there, tuck your toes under, and we're going to rock hips back towards our heels. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, rock back. Inhale, come forward. So we're stretching the bottoms of the feet, but you're only going to the right amount of stretch for you. So you don't want to overdo it. And then once the hips come back, we're going to stay there. Keep your toes where they are on the floor and just move your heels side to side. So we're working across the width of the ball of your foot, from your big toe out to your pinky toe and back again. Okay, and then come back up, bring your feet up, maybe do a little ankle rotation, and then set the feet back down, coming into cat-cows. Inhale, as you exhale, round your back. Inhale, arch, and keep going. Round, arch, and round, arch. Let's do one more of those. Coming back to a center position, my hair, and then stretch out your right leg, toes tuck under on the floor, push back through the heel, and then bring that knee down and switch to the other side. Now from there, reach the opposite arm forward. So it's our left leg, right arm, lift the left foot, and we're going to alternate here. Breathe in, and as you exhale, come to table. Inhale, switch. Exhale, table, and switch. Table, switch. Table, switch. One more time. Exhale, inhale, coming back, holding this so the right leg's long, left arm is coming forward. And then bring your hand down to the floor, and we're going to do 3 little push-ups, squeezing elbows towards your rib cage. Lower down and come up. So you don't have to bend your elbows a whole lot. You do where it works for you. And as you come up, sweep the leg out to the right, press the outer edge of the foot down, arch lifts, lengthen out your sits bones. You can stay up onto your hands, or you might lower down to the elbows. And either way, if it feels right for you, maybe rock the hips back again and bring them back up. And rock them back and bring them forward. One more time. Go back and forward. And then if you did lower down to the elbows, come back up to your hands. Sweep the leg back behind you and then come to knee. Reach the other arm up and the leg out. Breathe. Hand comes down. 3 more of those push-ups. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up. Good. And then sweep the leg to the left. Outside edge of the foot presses down. Arch lifts, sits bones lengthen back. You can stay on hands, or you can go down to the elbows. And you can keep hips where they are, or you can rock them back and forward 3 times. All right, if you did go down to the elbows, come back up onto your hands, and then we'll come back to both hands and knees. Walk your hands forward. Hands can go as wide as they need to keep your shoulders happy. Puppy pose, heart melts, hips are up, arms are long. Lift outside edges of the shoulder blades up, and then you might even go up onto your fingertips with your palms lifted. And then slide yourself back into a child's pose. Let your arms be wherever feels good for them. You can stay center, or you might rock a little. And then come back to center. We're going to engage the core with a great big forceful exhale. Breathe in all of your air out. And then inhale, bring yourself up to your knee stand, reach up, and then exhale, sweep your arms down. From here, bring your hands to the tops of your thighs. Inhale, and as you exhale, push that hip crease back as if you were going to sit down. And then tuck your tailbone and roll up through your spine. Shoulders go back. So we're kind of working the fascia along the front and back planes of the body, as well as strengthening the front of the legs. Hips go back, tuck, and roll up. Let's do 2 more. Back, tuck, roll up. 1 more. Back, tuck, and roll up. From there, bring your hands back down, and we're going to lower down onto the elbows. We're working our way into a plank. So your plank can be on your knees. I'm going to move my knee pad now. Be on your knees or your toes. Push the back of your head straight up into the ceiling, and then if it feels good, do a little twist. One hip dips down, other hip tips down. So you can also do this on your knees. Let's do 1 more in each direction. Back to center, take a breath. And then ease the hips down, release the toes. Bring your feet out to about mat width. Bring your elbows out to mat width as well, with your forearms along that outer edge of your mat. Lengthen out your tailbone, scoop in your navel, engage your glutes, and then engage through your heart and the back of your body to lift the arms up and bring them down. And lift up, squeeze the shoulder blades, and lower. 1 more. Up and lower. Hands under forehead. Relax here for a sigh. Wiggle your hips side to side. bend the knees and gently move your feet side to side. So you don't want to fling the feet from side to side. You want to keep it gentle. And then lengthen the legs back out. Press your way back up to your table position. If you need to reposition your knee pad, go ahead and do that. And then deep breath in, exhale, round. Inhale, arch. One more cat-cow round. Arch, and then you decide whether you want to come back to that puppy pose position, or you might tuck your toes under to work into your down dog. If you come into down dog, pedal the feet a little bit before you start to drop your heels down. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. Press the whole surface of the hand into the floor, so you're not just resting in the heel of the hand. Lengthen out your sits bones. If you need to bend your knees to keep your spine more straight, do that. And then release back down. Release the feet. Walk your hands a little bit to the left to step your right foot forward. And then, so if you need a block for a little height, you can bring a block under your hands. Otherwise, we're just going to use our hand on our thigh to press up. So, sorry, I've got an itch. Okay, so now we're going to be working our hip flexor so this is our right leg forward. The left hip flexor is what we're focusing on here. So we're going to push the front foot straight down into the floor, pull it towards your back foot. So this leg is active, it's engaged now, and just by that action, you might start to feel something through the front of your left hip flexor. And then we're going to actually tuck in the tailbone, scoop in the navel, and then try to engage your left glute. So sometimes our brain doesn't really want to connect to our glutes. There's this whole thing called dormant butt syndrome. So maybe even poke your glute to help your brain figure out where it needs to engage. And then all of that's activated, and that might be enough of a stretch through the front of your left hip. But if you feel like it's available to you, you want just a little bit more, it's not a big movement, you're going to bring your hips slightly forward. And then press back out. Now, go ahead and relax, and we're going to change our thigh of our bottom leg into a slight external rotation by moving your back foot slightly to the right. So it's just like an inch or two. Same sequence to get everything working. Front foot pushing down, heel, and pulling back. Scoop in the navel, lengthen out your tailbone, engage your left glute. That might be enough. Or on your next exhale, bring the hips forward a little bit and just kind of notice where you're feeling this in your left hip. And this hip flexor area can get kind of tight and congested from sitting a lot, and then back off. Bring your back foot back to where it started, and then an inch or two to the right. So now we're going into slight internal rotation of that bottom thigh. Front foot pushes down, pulls back, scoop in the navel, lengthen tailbone, engage your left glute. That might be plenty. Or on your next exhale, bring yourself forward just a little bit. Doesn't take a lot. And this area where the hip flexors, where we're stretching, that's also where the main lymphatics flow through to bring the lymph from your lower extremities up, and vice versa. So we want to keep that area open for that as well. And then go ahead and release, bring your back foot to where it started, and then we're just going to lean forward and relax in this one. All right, bring your hands back down to the floor. Shift the hips back. Oh, and come back to table. Wow. And then come into your child's pose and just kind of feel the difference from that one side versus the other, and take a sigh. All right, coming back up to table. We'll do the other side. So walk your hands a little bit to the right to make space for your left foot to come forward. And then bring your hand onto the leg to press up. So notice I don't have my foot really far forward, and I'm not going really deep forward. The hips are pretty much over that supported knee. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing. So your back leg is kind of where it feels neutral for you. Front foot pushes down, pulls back, tailbone tucks, navel in and up. Now this time you're going to focus on your right glute engaging. Feel where you're feeling that in your right hip. And if you want to take it just a little bit deeper on your next exhale, bring your hips forward. And then come back up. Good. Now we're going to take that back foot and move it an inch or two to the right. Front foot pushes down, pulls back. Scoop in the navel, lengthen at your tailbone, and engage your right glute. Notice that. And then if you want more on the next exhale, hips come forward just a little bit, and notice where you're feeling this in the right side. And then press out, bring your back foot through neutral, and then an inch or two to the right. Front foot pushes down and pulls back. Scoop in the navel, tailbone long, right glute working. Breathe in and out here. And then maybe hips come forward just a little bit. And then come back up, bring your back foot to neutral. Breathe in now a little bit. Now we'll come into this a little bit more relaxed. Lean forward. And press up. Bring your hands down. Slide your leg back. Whoa, let's wag our hips side to side. And then back into your child's pose. Give yourself a sigh right here. And then slowly bring yourself upright. We're going to work our way up into a ragdoll. Toes tuck under, about shoulder width or a little wider. Knees come up. Now you can move your knee pad out to the side if you were using one. Keep your knees really soft and bent here. If you have anything going on with the low back, you're going to do elbows or hands on your thighs like this with a straight spine and your head hanging. Otherwise, you might be able to cup your elbows and hang forward. Maybe do a little side-to-side swinging action. And then back through the middle. Slide your hands up to your thighs. Move your shoulders away from your ears so your neck is nice and long. And then shake your head no. Nod yes. And head hangs again. Arms help with this next part. Deep breath in. As you exhale, press up halfway with a flat back. Take a breath in. And then exhale, roll yourself all the way up. Shoulders go up, back, and down. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands to heart, and sigh. And then open your eyes, walk your feet underneath your hips, and we're going to focus on our feet a little bit. I'm going to turn forward so you can see more of what my body is doing. You're going to turn your palms forward, shoulders open when you do that. If it's comfortable for you, close your eyes. And then we're just going to shift our weight. Let our weight kind of sway from side to side. So we're working into each foot and into those edges. And then find your center. All right. Now we're going to do the same thing forward and back. So you're just going to shift forward to the toes and back to the heels. So you're not going so far where you feel like you're going to fall out of it. It's subtle. If you need to have your eyes open, that's fine. But if you're able to, you're going to try to work towards closed eyes. Woo, I almost fell backwards. And then find center from front to back. Now we're going to do the same action, but now go in a circle. So it's like your feet are clocks. The soles of your feet are a clock face. And you're working all around the outer edge of your clock on each foot. And then reverse that circle. Good. And then come back. Find plumb. Find that center. Good. Eyes open. Inhale. Reach the arms up. And then exhale, fold forward, bending knees as much as you need to. Inhale, lift up halfway. You can slide your hands up your legs. Exhale, coming down. Fingers reaching back. Inhale, coming all the way up. And then lower down, coming into a chair pose. Weight into your heels a little. Scoop the navel in, lengthen out your tailbone, open your collarbones. Now strongly push your heels into the floor as you straighten your legs, reach the arms up and roll up to your toes. And then drop the heels, go back down to chair. Push heels down, straighten the legs up to the toes. And we'll do that once more. Lower to chair. Push and come into toe stand. Now we're going to hold our toe stand here. If you want, open the arms out and down into a T position as you twist your heart to one direction. And then go up through the middle and down and out, twist the other way. Back to center. Release your heels. Inhale, heart up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, lower, fingers reach. Inhale, all the way up. Hands to heart and breathe. Okay, from here, bring your arms back down, palms face forward. Step your right foot forward, toes touch of your back foot. Lift your back foot up if that feels available to you, or you can keep your toes touching. As the foot goes up, the chest goes down like a seesaw, and you're trying to keep your back toes pointing straight down, knee pointing straight down. All right, and then drop the foot down, bend your front knee, bring your hands to your front thigh. So you're pushing down on your front thigh bone. That helps encourage some bone density in our bones. And then it also gives you leverage to really anchor your back heel down into the floor. Reach, and your torso is in line with your back leg. Arms come in line with the torso. Palms forward, shoulder blades squeeze. Back of the neck is long. Breathe right here. And then sweep arms all the way up. Feel if you have your left glutes working. If not, see if you can get them fired up a little. And then hands to heart and step up. Breathe in and out. All right, arms down. We'll do the same thing on the other leg. So now left foot steps forward, right toes touch until you feel ready, and then you might lift the foot up. Make sure the shoulders are moving away from your ears. All right, bend your standing leg, step your back foot back. This also, hands pressing down on your front thigh. It gives you a chance to adjust your stance if you need to, really pushing your back heel down. Scoop the navel in and up, and then reach the arms back, palms forward, back of your neck is long. Breathe in and out. And then inhale, arms sweep up. All right, we're changing this up a little bit. Bring the arms down, straighten the leg, turn the toes to the wide edge of your mat, adjust your foot position, and then gently turn your toes out. Bring your right hand to your hip, inhale your left arm up, stretch it up as high as you can go, and then exhale, pull the elbow down. Inhale, stretch up, exhale, pull down, and again, up, down one last time, up, and down. As you come up, switch, right hand to the hip, left hand to the hip, right arm stretches up, breathe in, exhale, elbow down, inhale up, and pull. Two more, up, last one. Good. And then come back neutral, toes are forward, adjust your stance as needed, and then right toes go out. Push your hips down to lengthen out through the torso and try to stack shoulders over your hips. I notice for me on this side, my body wants to kind of lean a little bit, but you're trying to keep shoulders right over your hips as you bend your right knee. Check in that your right knee is over your ankle, thigh bone is shooting down the center of your foot, and then bring your arms out. All right, we're going to do a little flow here, so I want this knee to come back to this spot each time. Inhale, bring your hands into your shoulders. Exhale, bend the knee and push through your palms. Inhale, straighten the leg, arms in. Exhale, push back out. One more of those. Inhale. Exhale, push out. Arms go long. Breathe right here. And then drop your left hand, reach the right arm up. Both arms out to a T. Straighten the leg, press the ball of the right foot down, tilt your hips as you reach out over that leg. And then you can either do hands to hips, or you might reach the arms long. You can have this bottom hand soft on the leg, not pressing down, or you can have the hand on the floor or a block, or you might even choose to let it float. Breathe. Look down at that leg. You can keep it straight or you can bend it to bring yourself up. Toes turn forward, hands to hips, other toes out. Bend the knee, find your leg position, push your hips down, grow tall through the top of your head, arms come out. Check in. We're going to bring the knee right back to this spot each time. Inhale, straighten as you bring the hands in. Exhale, push the hands out as you bend the knee. Inhale in. Exhale, push out. One more in. And push out. Good. Fingers lengthen. Breathe in. Exhale, right hand down, left arm up. Back to your warrior two. Straighten the left leg. Push the ball of the left foot down. Reach out over your left leg. Hands either to the hips or arms go long. Breathe right here. Look down. We're going to change this a little bit. Bend that knee, ease your hands down to the floor, lift your back heel, and you can drop the back knee down if you need to walk into a table position, or you might step back to your plank. Take a breath in and out, and then into a puppy pose or a down dog, and breathe right here. And then come back to table. On your inhale, stretch your right arm up. As you exhale, come down onto your right shoulder. Reach your left arm forward so your chin's tucking and you're looking underneath your left arm towards the ceiling. I'm going to add some layers to this, but you only go to where it feels right for you. You could take your left arm and wrap it around your back and roll the left shoulder open a little more. And then if you want, lengthen out your left leg, toes touch, or lift the leg up. So you're trying to find that point of balance. If you do roll over, we're close to the floor, so you don't have very far to go. And then we're going to reverse this. Bring the knee down, bring your left hand down, and then sweep your right arm up and bring it down. Other side. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, thread it through, coming onto your left shoulder. Right arm stretches forward. Tuck your chin, look under your arm towards the ceiling. You can stay here, or you can wrap the right arm, roll the shoulder open. Lengthen out the right leg, toes touching, or the leg lifts. And again, make sure you're not holding your breath. You want to keep breathing. And then we'll reverse it back to the knee. Right hand to the floor. Inhale the left arm all the way up and down. Walk your hands to the right. Shift your hips back and left. Drop your head and breathe into your left side. And then come up, walk your hands left. Shift your hips back and right. Head drops. Breathe into your right side. And then come back up. Come center. Now you can keep your knees close together or big toes together with wider knees. Come into your child's pose in the middle. Wide knees feels kind of good for me because it gives me some space for my torso to drop down, but everybody's body is different. So pick which position feels best for you. All right, and then we're going to roll our way up. We're going to work our way to a seated position. I'm going to turn part ways so that you can see kind of what my body's doing. We're going to come into a seated figure four. So if you prefer to come down to the floor, laying down in your figure four, feel free to do that. Otherwise, you're going to lengthen out your legs and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. And you want to lean back here because we're going to adjust as we need to. And then you're going to slide your left foot to the floor. Now, if this feels too intense, you could drop back to your elbows or lay all the way down. Or if you want to make this more intense, you could walk your hands forward, which brings your chest closer to your legs, and you could bring your foot in closer to your hips. Now, if you feel your hips lift up, you went past what your range is, so you might have to back off a little bit. And then you might move the left knee a little further to the left, which pulls your right leg into a slightly deeper stretch there. Breathe. And then release. Woo, that felt good. And then we're going to cross left ankle over right thigh, slide the foot in, make all the adjustments so that it works for your body on this particular day. And breathe right there. And then if you want, you can move your knee a little off to the side, pulling the top leg with it to give you a little more intensity. Phew. And then release. Shake out the legs. We're going to work our way to the floor and make sure you have your strap or belt within your reach. Hands behind your knees. Inhale the heart forward. And then exhale, round back and come all the way down. Knees into your chest and rock side to side. Okay. After that, bring your feet down to the floor. And we'll take our strap, oh, mine's all tangled up. We'll take our strap and bring it around the ball of the right foot. Lengthen out your left leg. Okay, so we're going to be working a few different things here. First, we're going to come into our hamstrings. Breathe in. And as you exhale, give your hamstrings a little tug. And then you're going to move your leg way away. So here's 90 degrees with your leg going straight up and down. You're going to go to about a 45-degree angle. And the strap is around the ball of the foot. And then push your foot into the strap. So there's some resistance happening there. And see how my arms are long? Now, I'm going to push my foot into my strap as I bend my elbows and pull my torso up. And then lengthen out the elbows. Lower down and stretch. So that's the action. Leg goes down, push into the strap with your foot, and pull yourself up with your arms. Arms go long, roll yourself back, and the leg stretches. We'll do that one more time. Lower, pull yourself up, and lower, and stretch. Good. And then we're going to go into the other side. So after you get your foot reaching up, we're going to come into our hamstring stretch and then lower that leg down to about a 45. Push your foot into your strap. This side's always a little harder for me. I don't know why. It's something about my core, I think. And then bend your elbows to come up. And then arms go long. And come into your hamstring stretch. Leg lowers, push foot into strap, pull yourself up, lower down, and stretch. One more time, we're going to pull ourselves up. Lower the leg, push into the strap, pull with your arms, lower, and stretch. Good. And then release. Ah. Let's give the knees a little hug and rock side to side. And then place feet on the floor, arms out to a T. Breathe in. As you exhale, come into your twist. And let's twist right, looking over your left shoulder. Now flex your feet again for that knee stability, and only if it feels okay, you're going to take your right foot on top of your left leg. Now, if that doesn't feel good for your left knee, take your foot off of the leg. But if you flex your left foot, that helps keep things a little stabler, and so that might be okay. Or if you have a different twist that you'd rather do, go into that instead. And then bring both feet down, move up through center, and twist to the other side. So now knees are going left, your head goes right, and then your left foot would come on top of your right leg. Make sure your right foot's flexed. If that doesn't feel good for whatever reason, you're going to move out of it. And then both feet come down and just go side to side with the legs, with the knees. Back center, knees in, rock side to side. And we're going to come into happy baby one more time as you bring your hips center, work into your happy baby. Now, if holding on to your feet doesn't feel possible, you can hold the calf behind the knee. If you're holding on to the knee, you could even let your shins flop a little, and that can soften it. But feel your tailbone going long on the floor. All right, and then release. Lengthen out your legs. Arms stretch over your head. Inhale, big full stretch. And exhale, relax. Slide your arms down by your sides. Turn your palms to face up. Now, you're going to plant your heels on your mat, and then loosely, your feet are going to flap. So you're going to move your feet up and down, toes up and down in the same direction at the same time, which, as you can see, causes this rocking or pulsing motion with my body on the floor. And what you're just trying to do is release any remaining tension you might be holding on in the body, and then relax the legs and sigh. And then just check in. If you have another pose that you would feel like you need before you settle, do that. If you're ready for Savasana, you can stay right where you are, or you can switch it up, moving into a position that might feel better for you. You decide. Once you've done all of your adjustments, you're fully settled and comfortable, give yourself 2 or 3 more sighs. And with each one of those sighs, see if you can soften any other spots in your body so that you're able to really release, let go, surrender. And then as your body starts to soften, just notice your breath briefly. Notice it moving gently in and out of your body. And you can notice the breath for as long as you'd like, or when it feels ready, you can let that go and just allow yourself to be in this moment with nothing else being asked of you. Breathe into your belly and let it go. Breathe in belly, low ribs. Let it go. Breathe in belly, ribs, upper chest. Let it go. And when you're ready, start to bring some movement into your body again. If you are lying down, eventually make it your way over to your side and give yourself another sigh there. And then effortlessly bring yourself up into a seated position. And as you come into your seated position, we're going to come into the Hridaya Mudra, the gesture of the divine heart. This is one of my faves. So you bring your right hand to your heart, left hand stacks on top, tuning back into your breath and the movement that you feel with your breath. You might even feel your heart beating. And I'm going to share a little reading with you that somebody sent me, so I don't know who to attribute it to, but I think it's a beautiful sentiment. So, just as you are complete. From the moment you took your first breath, you were whole. There's nothing lacking, nothing to change, nothing to add or take away to make you more perfect or lovable. Take that truth deep into your heart today. You don't need anyone's approval nor their blessing. You only need to accept your place in this amazing world as the perfect being you are, with no comparisons. You are you, and you were born whole and complete. Just take a moment to feel that, your wholeness, your completeness, perfect and beautiful as you are. And feel that sentiment settle into your heart center. And then bring your hands together at your heart. Bow your head to your heart center. Thank yourself for your practice today. And I thank you as well. It's always an honor spending time with you. I appreciate you, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.